you imagine that every time you go out for a jog, is that too loud?
No.
Okay. And a police car passes you, they stop you and they conduct a pat-down search of you. Can you imagine the humiliation and the shame you feel being subject to a pat-down search in front of your community? After a few experiences like this, people stop going for jogs in the evening. They stop walking down the streets in groups of 3. They feel fearful and paranoid. Statistics in Flemington show that Africans are more likely to be stopped than anyone else, but are in fact less likely to be involved in crime. Policing people, whether consciously or otherwise, on the basis of race rather than evidence is called racial profiling. Tonight, you will hear Daniel's experience of racial profiling. You'll also hear some legal solutions to this problem and how young people are vital to getting this issue dealt with.
Schoolboy, vandal, actor, nerd. These are all words people use to describe me in the community. Vandal. Growing up in the Flemington Housing Commission estates, it was always full of adventure. Muck-up day, 2005, I'm aged 15. After a scorching summer day, the cool evening breeze encourages me and 2 friends to go for a walk past the concrete towers, as the concrete towers were just too hot to be in. Whilst walking past the local petrol station on Mount Alexander Road, a police van screeches up in front of us. One officer proceeds to assault my friend. I can't see him, but I can hear the large thud against the van. The other officer comes to me and bombards me with questions about vandalizing the local school. I tried to assure him that I had nothing to do with it. He proceeds to assault me. I end up in the ground and I look up to the Turkish kebab store owner, who looks at me helplessly. I'm thrown into the divvy van by the scruff of my neck, and my friends are told to scatter. This was to be one of many racialized policing experiences that I had growing up in Flemington. The other moments included repetitive questioning and harassment, driving while black, and confiscation of goods without evidence.
In 2008, Daniel and 16 other people in his community filed Australia's first racial profiling claim against the police. In 2013, this claim settled in the Federal Court of Australia, with Victoria Police agreeing to conduct a public consultation into their stop and search practices and also anti-bias training. This has led to some unprecedented changes within Victoria Police policy. But unfortunately, at the street level, nothing has changed. It's time for Parliament to intervene. We need critical legislation. We need laws that require the police to collect their perceived race of people they stop and search on the streets. We need there to be a comprehensive ban on the stopping and searching of people where no reasonable grounds for suspicion exists. And we need the independent investigation of complaints against police. We're not going to get these changes unless we have a movement of people impacted by racial profiling speaking up about the harm it causes and the solutions to it.
Racialised policing has a long history in Australia, and it begins with the policing of our Indigenous communities. They only make 3% of the entire population, yet they make 28% of the prison population. Racial profiling cripples communities, leaving them feeling powerless, suicidal, devalued, criminalised, and alienated. These workshops are about increasing community resilience and pushing for legal reforms that will make the practice of racialised policing illegal. It's about activating the power of young people to be change agents and active citizens that actually engage in democratic processes. Young people have a lot of energy and creativity, but there's a lack of opportunities for them to engage with issues that impact on them and their broader community. These workshops will give them the training and opportunities to engage in civic society.
African and Indigenous educators will work with 10 participants through a series of 4 workshops looking at the history of racial profiling in Australia and beyond, legal rights, law reform, and strategies for democratic engagement. At the end of these workshops, the trainers and participants will embark on a project designed to engage democratic processes through going out and speaking with politicians and community leaders, through launching online petitions, through a comprehensive social media strategy, through producing a short film that discusses the harm caused by racial profiling and the solutions to it. We need $15,000 will pay for 2 educators to work with 10 participants to produce one of these outcomes. $30,000 will fund 8 trainers to work with 40 participants. Through democratic engagement, we will convince politicians to pass legislation that will end racial profiling. Thank you.